Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Garage Gym Experiment podcast. My name is Adam. That's Jake, and we're back again for another great episode. On tonight's episode, we're going to come at you with a HomeGymCon update. We have some survey results, and then Jake's going to throw some business ideas at me to react to. Before we get going, Jake, we haven't talked in a while. We've been sick, but on your recovery back, you went to the Arnold, and so I want to hear about it.
Yeah, so it's been a while. We were set to record, and then you got sick, and then I got sick. And I was telling some people earlier, I was saying on the podcast earlier that we weren't just sick, we were like knocked out sick. It wasn't like we could have like done the podcast with like some sniffles. We both got hit hard. And then I was knocked out all week, and then I was actually kind of nervous, like, can I make it to the Arnold? And I did though. I just made a day trip with Kyle. I'd be curious to hear if you were jealous or not.
Of course.
That I got to go. Okay, you were jealous.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always loved the Arnold. My dad went when I was like, I don't know, I was like 9 or 10 years old. He always would come back with like a stringer or whatever, like a bodybuilding stringer for me, signed by like some random bodybuilder. And I got to first go when I was like 13, and so the Arnold's got a special place in my heart.
Right. I remember you telling me about it back in high school, and I was like, what? But yeah, it was, I mean, I still think it's cool. It's a cool experience. There's been a lot of people like within our community that went, and they're like, oh, it sucked. And I will say this last year, it just, you don't get much value out of going. There's not like a lot of knowledge to get. You can't really learn from the brands. There's way more energy drink companies now than there were even like 5 years ago. So, most of the space is energy drinks and supplements, and there were a handful of gym equipment companies, but like the gym equipment company, like it's so crowded. Even I just went on the Friday. It's so crowded, it's hard to even really test anything out. Like the Panada booth was super cool. Like the equipment was awesome, but there's like people around you, and it's like, I'm not really gonna take the time to learn about this equipment here. Rogue had some cool stuff at their booth. They had the Rogue Rhino trainer. They had some new attachments, and the Gronks had a pretty good booth. They had some of their plate loaded machines that looked great. Bolt was there. Force USA was there. But again, they had like tiny, like, you don't really had much space to really test out the stuff. And so when I did get there, when I walked in with Kyle, it was like, this is cool. This is really cool. And then, you can really make the rounds without, because there's not much, the booths don't have much substance. You can really make the rounds pretty quickly. And then by the time it was like early afternoon, you're already walking in crowds slowly. So that was, I mean, it was still cool. I'm glad I went. Like, I would have loved to spend the whole weekend, buy the extra tickets to the strongman competition, stuff like that. Like, spread it out a little bit more, and it would have been cool. But yeah.
Yeah, I always appreciate the Arnold, but like, you have to know what you're getting into. You're getting into like being jostled the entire time by crowds of people. There are those bottleneck areas that are really annoying, but they're bottleneck areas because you have to walk through them. Yeah, and visiting booths is basically a looking experience. It's not I'm going to lift with this stuff experience. So, yeah.
You used to go and you used to get a ton of free supplements. But you don't get free supplements anymore. You just get like little tasters. It's like, who wants to taste pre-workout and then continue to walk around? Like, it's nice to get an energy.
Yes.
It's nice to get an energy drink. Like, those are great.
Yes.
And walk around with an energy drink is awesome. But yeah, the like sampling.
Oh man, the swag bags you used to be able to pull, like, I'm talking, 2006, 2007-ish, I would come back with so many samples of pre-workouts and creatine. Like, I would take it all and it would take me about a full year just to go through the free samples. Like, It used to be an experience where like you came out with some stuff, and it's just not that anymore.
Yeah. Ursa is next week, and I'm going to Ursa.
Is that in LA again?
It's in Vegas.
Okay, nice.
It's in Vegas.
Where are you staying?
It's my first time in Vegas.
It's your first time in Vegas? Oh, we got to talk. Okay.
I'm going alone.
I took family vacations in Vegas when I was
I know.
12. We would go for Christmas. It was weird. Thinking about it now.
I think I'm staying at the Mandalay Bay.
Great.
I don't know anything
Right on the
about
strip,
it.
man. You're good. No, you're good.
Yeah. So Mandalay Bay. I mean, I'm there like 36 hours. I'm not like there long. Just doing a quick.
Good news for you too is the tram, the elevated train. I don't know, but it goes right to the convention center, and there's a station at Mandalay Bay, so you have a direct route there and back.
Nice.
So that's great.
You really know your stuff.
Oh yeah.
I would be curious. Would you rather go to the Arnold or Ursa?
Probably Arnold. Yeah, probably Arnold. Just because it has the strongman. The year before, you had the booth. We went to the Arnold, and we got up in the bleachers for that strongman event. That was so much fun. You and I just like crushing beers at the top of the bleachers, watching the finale for the strongman. I had a blast. I was like,
Did we have a booth?
not that year.
Not that year.
No.
Yeah. So I have really good memories of going to the Arnold. Like lot of like super fun. And I liked it this year too. It was more crowded this year though, even for a Friday.
Well, Fridays aren't the most crowded day. You know, it's a work
know.
day for a lot of people. I wonder what Saturday looked like.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking Saturday is going to be insane. So
Did you watch any of the strongman? Did you see Hathor attempt his the 501?
No, I didn't. Did he? And I see he didn't make it.
No, I mean that's a big ask in competition after events already, and yeah, no, he went out there and he tried. He gave it like a 15-minute rest, and he came back out to give it a pull, but didn't work out for him.
All right, so HomeGymCon update. As of this recording, we are recording on a Tuesday night. We are 115 days out. If you're looking at the screen, you can see the map. Last week was actually a rough week for HomeGymCon. So, I mean, I wouldn't say too rough, but we did end up losing about 5 people or 5 vendors last week. And it's definitely bound to happen. We'll probably lose a handful more as well, but we lost some smaller booths. And then we did lose one big booth, Stealth number 1. They're not going to be ready in time. So we've moved. They've decided to keep their funds in, which tremendously helps us, and reserve their space for 2026. So they're planning on being there in 2026. However, if you're looking at the map, you still see it's there's some open spaces now in some good spots. So there's an opportunity for people to still sign up, get a good spot. And if we don't fill that spot, any of those spots, then this will all just be consolidated. But you're looking at the map, you see some open spots. Just keep in mind it's already 3 times larger than last year. Some other notable things: ATX now has the biggest booth, so they now have a 50 by 50 booth, which is like.
What was their booth size last year, just for reference?
It's about double their booth size last year. More than double.
Okay.
I mean, Rogue's got a big booth, Rep's got a big booth, Major Fitness has a big booth. But ATX now has the largest booth. They are planning to bring a lot of stuff, and hopefully people can take that stuff home. We also, I just wanted to make note that there was a little bit of controversy with, or there was a little tiff, and Black Widow did say that they weren't going to make HomeGymCon, but that has changed. As of now, they're back in. So Black Widow yesterday.
That's great news.
It's great news.
All right.
Yes. So yeah, the strongman front area still holding strong there, and yeah, we'll I am hoping to get a few more vendors after Ursa, but as of right now, we're right around 125 vendors. All right, moving along to some survey results. So, one question we like to ask each year is, where are you most likely to get a power rack? We've had this same group for a number of years, so we're just continuing that so we can also measure the changes. But Rep was the narrow winner here with 41% of the votes. Rogue had 39% of the votes. Other about 14% of the votes, and then Titan had 6% of the votes. You might ask, how did that look last year? Well, let me tell you, Adam. Last year, the Rep gap was a little larger. So Rep had 46% of the votes last year, whereas they had just 41%. Rogue went from 36 to 39. And then Titan went up slightly. But you can see here on the chart, which is a pretty cool chart, Rep was going up and up and up and up and up. Rogue was going down and down and down and down. But that changed this year with Rep going down slightly. Still number one, but they went down slightly to 41%, whereas Rogue went up. You can also see that the other, pretty much stayed between 13 and 16%, and then Titan 2021 they were back around 12%, but they're down to about half of that now. Next up, with cost in mind, who are you most likely to fill an entire home gym with? Rep was the easy winner here with 46% of the votes. They did have about 53% of the votes last year though. Second was Rogue with 26% of the votes. And then instead of Titan here, we also merged Titan, Bells of Steel, Fringe, and GetRx. They had 19.5%, and then Other had 8% of the votes. We also like to try and see each year, like, is the home gym your main workout option, your only workout option, or secondary option? This year, the only workout option was 41%. The primary workout option was 45%, and secondary option was about 45%. So just under 60% have their home gym, but they're also going to some sort of secondary gym, either as their primary option or their secondary option. Will takeover strength succeed? Sorry, I was supposed to put a graphic there. That's why we have this empty space. But most don't know enough. So 70% said they don't know enough. 6% said takeover strength will succeed. And then 24% say they will not succeed. I was going to put a picture of a video of the strap bar here. They've teased a few videos of the strap bar. Do you know what the strap bar is, Adam?
Is it the, no, I'm just going to say no.
Yeah, so they basically added, they strapped some handles on that you can, just basically some handles that you can strap to a bar, and it replicates like an SSB. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So they tease that. I mean, I honestly think that looks like a pretty good product for a lot of people who don't want to store specialty bars. So I think that could work well. And then the last survey question we have here is just asked simply, are these companies expensive? So is Rogue expensive? Is Rep expensive? And then is Titan expensive? So 84% said Rogue was expensive, 60% said Rep was expensive, and then just 21% said Titan was expensive. So those are the survey results. Any comments? Anything stood out to you?
I like to see the jump from 2021 to present for where you're getting a rack from with Rep going from, I believe it was like 21% to like, oh, there you go, 18% to 41%. I remember back when we started this podcast, and 2020, 2021, 2021.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. I remember it was kind of outside the box to say that Rep is going to be number one in home gym space, and now it doesn't. That's not a crazy statement at all. So yeah,
No.
it's cool to like see this graphic and look back and be like, oh my god, look how low they were. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, and it was nuts to say anybody but Rogue was going to be
Right.
number one.
Yeah.
So yeah, quite the turn. Not that Rogue has struggled,
No.
but Rep has done such a good job. It is interesting though with this question, with like Rogue releasing their functional trainers and starting to focus on rack attachments a little bit more, that you did see a bump, which I thought was super interesting. I've always wondered, like, what happens if you rephrase this question? I wish Instagram allowed you to like add like 10 different companies.
Yeah.
Because I don't think if you had like a list of like 10 companies, Rogue and Rep would make up 80% of the votes. I do want to acknowledge that. But I mean, I do think they would probably still make up over half. So, but I mean, they're still dominant. Still dominant. All right, let's see what else we've got on the docket. All right. And then one thing I've said in the past is, I still think there's a lot more home gym business ideas out there that people are not pursuing. So if you want to get in the space, I do think there are more options than to sell gym equipment or review product equipment. And this idea, I wanted to do this section again and just get more people kind of thinking about ways that they can contribute to the home gym community or get involved or start a business. But this started when I was over at Kyle's and he was talking about how he had to do a product setup instruction video. And he was like, honestly, most of the product instructions out there are terrible, and somebody should do this as like a way to get into the space. Like, there's so many different products out there that have just terrible instructions. So I think if somebody just took a few instructions or did a few videos on products they already have or that they got and did some well detailed videos, I think it could help not only people that, you could choose specific products that already have bad videos, post them online, get some traction, help some people, and then just mass start sending these videos to a list of the companies and just say, hey, if there's any products that you need videos for, I'm your guy. And if it's a popular enough product, you're going to get quite a bit of views. And the watch time is going to be long. And two, it's a great way to get free equipment.
Yeah.
Also, like if it's a big enough, if it looks like an intense enough build, I think some people might check it out before they even decide to buy something. So it might help like sell the product. And then I do think those those videos would rank decent as when you're like doing your general search.
It's actually a great idea.
I don't want to take credit for that one. That one goes to Kyle. But yeah, I mean, he was discussing it with the Mammoth Belt Squat too, like his own product. So yeah, I totally think it's a good idea. Somebody should definitely do it. And there's so many products out there. I think multiple people should do it. Or I do think more companies should consider this as like they release new products. Like, find somebody with a good rapport within the community, pay them for their time, or give them a good enough product for free, and you can get some good instructional videos.
And I will tell you, like, after watching Kyle's on the Mammoth Belt Squat, he does give like a lot of like tips to using it too. So it was like almost like the reviewer's point of view too. He's like, I set it up like this because, and like where to put like the weight horn on top, and I don't know. I thought it was.
Did you watch it? You
I did
watched
watch
it?
it. Yeah, yeah, I watched it.
See, like they're
Yeah,
there. Like
yeah.
people will watch it.
Well, we were talking about it at dinner around Christmas time that he was shooting that video and stuff, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Let's check it out." So
Yeah.
I don't have a mammoth belt squat, by the way, but
Yeah, and he doesn't even have the mammoth belt squat. All right, so next up, I still think there's quite a bit of room, and I've said this before, so don't get too upset with me. But I think there's more opportunities for niche product reviewers. So when I say niche, I mean like I see like on a lot of videos, I see questions like, I'm over 6 feet. Will this work for me? So I think there are people like over 6 feet product reviewers. I think there's going to be a lot more products for women in the near future. So any women that want to get in the space, I think there's a huge opportunity there. I think like channels like Made in America Home Gym product reviews would do well. I think over 300 pounds, and I think like if you're going to do it, if you want that brand, you have to stick to it, and it has to also be in your title. So like, you have like the Kurt Locker who does a lot of Made in America brands. Like someone like him, like it can't just be a subset. You have to always do it.
you would be like Tall Guy Reviews Fitness, something
Yeah,
like that.
you would never like give the review with like a normal viewpoint. It would just be 4 or 6 feet. Or I think like you could do like over 300 pounds. And I think that like that might like, capture anybody over like 250 because they're like, I just want some. Because like you look at like, most of not all the reviewers, they're in good shape, but they're not like, I mean, Basement Brandon's over 6 foot. I'm over 6 foot, but that's about it, So I think like something like that. I don't see many over like 250. So I do think like there's opportunities like that. I think non-equipment reviews for the home gym, like someone specifically doing it for lights and heaters and fans and stuff like that. I think that could, I don't know, maybe might be a little too niche, but I think there's more opportunities there. And then, yeah, that's the list for my niche off the top of my head ideas. Can you think of any off the top of your
Well,
head?
I like wall decals. I'm thinking like someone who designs like wall decals for like home gym spaces. Posters are great. Flags are awesome. I like wall decals as well. I think Basement Brandon had found a website at one time where he did like his like sayings and like vinyl prints and stuff like that. But kind of like how Plate Snacks does it, like just for the home gym. You could like, a quote or like a silhouette of like, a bodybuilder, stuff like that could be something.
So I do have more ideas. I was looking for niche review ideas, but yes, that is a good idea. I think so. My first job out of college was at Angie's List, and it was in customer service. So they did Angie's List is a review platform for home services, and it expanded to a bunch of other stuff. But I think there's an opportunity for a review platform for companies in the home gym equipment space outside of like Yelp or Angie's List, just specific for home gym companies. And it's not for specific reviews. So I still get a lot of questions in the DMs like, hey, what do you know about this company? Hey, what do you know about this company? And a lot of the times I have zero experience with them. I've maybe heard their name, but I don't have any direct experience. So maybe they have a good deal or they're local to you. I think something like that could work. That's not something I would want to run, knowing like dealing with like reviews and like negative reviews and like being the intermediary between those companies, like that can get nasty.
Yeah, yeah,
I
good.
did enough of that at Angie's List. But I do think it's a valuable service. I mean, I think about like crummy companies and giving people an opportunity to like see the reviews before buying and scaring them away and sending them to reputable companies. I think that would be a good service. I think somebody would do well. It just, you'd have to deal with some complaints. Another one I have here is like a virtual one-on-one consulting service to help design home gyms. So we've seen like Garage Gym Lab turn it into real life. So I think that's another example. I think there's plenty of local areas where you could go and take this and start installing home gyms. I'm thinking from like a like virtual standpoint. I think there's an opportunity to like plug it in on your websites. Like, hey, if you want to get one-on-one time, book a call, that type of thing, and then you can get like or you can plug it in at the end of your YouTube videos, and you could probably like give your affiliate links and like make a half-hour call worth $50. I don't know. So I think that could be something that a lot of different influencers could do to start monetizing like outside of just affiliate links. Let's see. Next, I put a LinkedIn for home gym people, for those involved with the business side of things. So like outside of HomeGymCon, there's really not an easy way for everybody to connect within like a single platform. There's like Facebook, there's Discord, there's LinkedIn, which nobody is on LinkedIn, I can tell you that, and like DMs and stuff like that. There's no like single source. I think there could be something there to help connect business owners. I think the same thing could be done for like content creators, some sort of hub where companies could easily contact them as well, and then like the content creators can work together on like best practices and those sorts of things. And then the last thing I have here, this is kind of off topic, but a company 100% focused on selling to people in short ceilings or basement gyms. So I think there's probably an opportunity for that. Like if you have a short ceiling, I think, if there's a specific company that sells products specifically to you, you can go there, and then they'd probably also buy like add-on stuff from that website as well. So those are my ideas. Adam has his decal idea. If you guys have ideas, throw them in the comments. But that's all we got.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us. If you liked tonight's episode, be sure to keep your eye out for new episode releases wherever you listen to your podcasts, and be sure to follow Neural News. Are you not subscribed yet? Well, then check out the link below. Sign up for more HomeGymCon content. Jake, anything else left for the listeners?
Nope.
All right, guys. Check you next time. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.